For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome to another edition of the Focus program. Nice to have you along. Focus, as you know, appears in Marine City, St. Clair each Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now up in Port Huron on Channel 6 up there with the school district on Thursdays and Fridays. So we're glad that you are along. Today we've got three very special segments. We're going to talk to the people from Fishers Community Church first, then Kristen Lyons from the St. Clair Friends of the St. Clair River will be along to talk about a very important thing called water. And then finally, Sue Daniels will be along to talk a preview this year's Santa Parade. Did I say Santa Parade? Yes, Santa Parade. So that'll be fun. Reverend Joe Demges. I got it?
Yeah.
Cow. And Jenny Fay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. You are both representing the wild and growing Fishers Community Church.
Yes, we are.
Right up the hallway
Right
at 301 North 6th Street in St. Clair. What's going on at Fishers Community Church?
Well, we are starting a brand new mental health support group called Fresh Hope.
Okay, I love the name, Fresh Hope.
It's part of a group that's already existed, and it's interesting because this was started because of a pastor who at that time had been diagnosed with bipolar, had this really public event happen to him, very embarrassing. But what happened from there is he started Fresh Hope, seeing that there was a need for people to receive this sort of counseling. It's a peer-to-peer. It's not real counselors there. We support one another. Enjoy this time together. There are some skills that you learn.
So are you having classes before you start it, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, we have 4 facilitators.
Oh, okay.
And we are going through a training to be a facilitator. And it's peer-led, so all of us are not only facilitators of the group, but are going to participate in the group as well.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. It's important, and especially coming up this time of year, there's so much, really, much greater emphasis on depression, isn't there?
And that was part of the reason why we started. We're going to start December 6th, as you can see, for that very reason. It's fairly well known, of course, that Christmas is a hard time of the year for folks that are dealing with
very sad
depression, death, and all these other things. Of course, it's holidays and everybody's having fun. And
right.
They're not. So it was very purposeful, yes.
Okay. And what is you're going to be one of the facilitators.
I will be, yes.
And what will happen in one of the sessions? Can you give us an example or a feel for what's going to go on?
Sure. We're going to do some opening exercises to make everyone feel comfortable.
Exercise?
Yeah, exercises.
Okay.
Just getting to know each other. We want it to be a group where the support continues beyond the group.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be doing a lot to get to know one another. We'll be talking about different topics that might need to be discussed. How people are handling depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, other addictions, things like that. And really through our discussion, through sharing our experiences, through sharing what helps, and making those connections and making sure that we're being supportive for one another, we just really hope to empower one another to live in victory of this.
Okay.
This group is about living with a mental illness in spite of it, living well, doing what we can.
And that's possible.
Yeah, that's totally possible. Yeah, and the name says it all, Fresh Hope. I mean, that's what we're really doing is giving people hope of living with a mental illness, that it can be done.
Any feel for how big the classes are going to be, or how the group? It's how whoever shows up, right?
Yeah.
You'd probably like to have them call and make some touch base and see.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
No,
Okay.
just we've got a room set up down there doing some changes. We want to keep as few obstacles in the way for someone that would want to come to here. So no need to call, email, anything like that. Just please show up.
For those that might not know where Fishers Community Church is, it's in a very familiar location in St. Clair.
Yes, it is.
And that is?
Right down the hall. It's the old either high school, if you know it as that, or the old middle school, or the old Riverview East building, 301 North 6th Street.
And they enter off the 6th Street?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There'll be a sign they'll see one for Fishers, but also one for Fresh Hope too.
Okay. And then you have services on Sunday
We have
normally. Talk to
services.
me about that.
Services 10 a.m. on Sundays, and it's a smaller church, but at the same time, it's neat because
You don't take anybody over 6'5"?
right. I don't know how they let me in.
Oh.
But, Jenny, I don't know.
I'm good. I'm safe.
No, but it's a wonderful atmosphere. You know, having a smaller church and everybody knows each other very well, very well. One of the things I want to say about Fresh Hope and Fishers, it's not an event that we are doing to try to get people to come to our church. It's not recruiting or anything like that. It is Christian based because that's what we know and believe that is going to be that facet that allows people to succeed with their mental illnesses. But it certainly isn't just to get people to come. It's you come here, you receive the care, help, camaraderie from people that are just like you.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just want to share a story with you real briefly, Paul. The genesis of this was talking with a local businessman. And I had arranged a breakfast for him so that we could talk about the possibility of another space should we lose our building here. And so we spent our first 15 minutes or so talking about the building, or a building, a property, and we spent the rest of the hour and 45 minutes or so talking about mental illness, specifically depression. Neither of us knew that that we suffered with depression, that we'd been diagnosed with depression. And so it was very much an eye-opener for both of us to see someone who is, both of us that are somewhat in the public eye here, that we have these sorts of things. And we said, this is something good. We have to start a group that's going to support one another. And one of the things
That's great.
Yeah, one of the things we're already seeing right now is hopefully a loss of stigma that's going to happen during this time and even already so far, because anywhere talking about mental health is somewhat of a thing that people aren't comfortable with talking about, either the person themselves or family, things like that. And it's just important for us to do what we can to remove those stigmas, especially in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Fishers community, you've been involved for a while. It's a fun place, great place.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun together. We share Sunday mornings together. It's a great opportunity to worship in a family atmosphere.
Beautiful.
Multi-generational. That's what I really like about
Good.
it. Yeah.
You've done some wonderful work painting, fixing up, and making that whole auditorium look spick and span and beautiful.
It's been a labor of love.
Labor of love. All right, let's talk. Fresh Hope. It starts December the 6th, Wednesdays, and how long it's going to run? Forever? Until it continues
Yeah.
to help people.
Yeah.
Okay, Wednesdays at 6:30, right here at 301 North 6th Street, the front of the building, Fishers Community, or FishersSt.Clair.org.
Right.
Correct.
We do have a slide. Oh, he's got the slide up. See, he's ahead of me. That's great. So that's the bottom line.
Yes.
Very nice to see you again, sir. See
Well,
you in the
thank you for
hallway.
having us.
Very
Yes.
nice to have
Thank
met
you.
you.
Thank you for always supporting us.
Not a problem. Coming up next, we're going to find out about the water in the St. Clair River and how it's going to get into your house and how safe it is. We'll be right back with Kristen Lyons in just a second. Water, 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 and not a drop to drink. The lady that knows all about that is Kristen Lyons. Welcome back to the Focus Show. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Paul.
Been
Thanks for having
a
me
few
here.
months, and we're always glad to see your smiling face and get all the information about one of the most important things we have around the world, and that's water.
Well, thanks. Well, I'm not the expert. We've invited an expert to come and talk to us about how safe is our water.
Okay. We are all aware of the problems they had in Flint,
Right.
and that was a man-made issue kind of a thing.
Sure.
But the water that we are ingesting here in St. Clair County, how does it stack up?
Well, all indications are that the water quality in St. Clair County is improving.
Okay.
And the reason that I say that is because the Binational Public Advisory Council, which I'm a member of,
Right.
and Fred is a longtime member of, our speaker in a couple of weeks, has been tracking the progress of the health of the St. Clair River over the last 30 plus years. And we have benchmarks that are indicating that the quality is improving.
The river, St. Clair River, gives water to many of the municipalities from that 18, 20-mile
Sure.
stretch. The city of Detroit gets their water from out in Lake Huron.
That's right.
And it goes through a big pipeline down to Detroit. So we are talking, your group really is concerned about from Port Huron to Algonac, right?
That's right. Our focus area is from the mouth of the river to the headwaters.
And 15, 20 years ago, it had a notice on it or something, didn't it? An area of concern, was that the term?
Yes, it was federally designated as an international area of concern about 30 years ago. And we've been making great strides in the last 7 to 10 years.
And those strides have been from industries and municipalities taking more responsibility?
Well, yes, absolutely. Those two things helped a lot. And also the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, the federal funding that started to become available starting around 2010, that helped us get some of the investments that we needed to make in wildlife habitat done.
Can you review just a couple of those that you've done? The River Walk has got some of your projects?
So the Blue Water River Walk is one of the projects that Friends of the St. Clair River helps to manage. And that is nearly 1 mile long restored shoreline right on the St. Clair River in Port Huron.
And it's beautiful, and
it's beautiful.
It helps to make the whole ecology of the river even better and better every day.
Yes, and it's working, and we have professional monitoring results to indicate that it is working.
When Candace Miller was in Congress, she had a plan where they put monitoring equipment in all the municipalities down the river. That subsequently, the funding ran out, and that stuff's gone, but there is monitoring in Port Huron?
There is, every water intake does some sort of monitoring.
Okay.
But the system that Candace Miller was a proponent of was the real-time monitoring. And that's not done everywhere along the river, but there are a couple of places where it is being real-time monitored.
Okay. You're here today to talk about Fred Kemp, which a lot of people know.
Yes.
And talk to me about Fred and what he's going to be doing.
So Fred's going to be talking to us about the history that I've sort of reviewed already, but he's going to talk about how we got listed as an area of concern, and then how we've been making major headway on being removed as an area of concern. And what I hope that Fred will also talk about is some of the issues that us average citizens need to be concerned about and watching, and what we can do in our own lives and communities to ensure the health of the river and continues to improve.
When is he going to be speaking and where?
So it'll be in Port Huron at the St. Clair County Administration Building in the auditorium, and that's at 200 Grand River Avenue, Port Huron. And that will be on Wednesday, October 25th at 6 p.m.
And is a PowerPoint kind of presentation? And
yeah, I'm not sure exactly the format of the presentation.
And the cost is free?
It's free and open to the public.
Your organization, Friends of the St. Clair River, been around for a while, 5, 10 years?
Well, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary
Oh, you
this
are
year.
10
yes.
years. Okay.
Yes.
Are you looking for people to volunteer?
Absolutely. We're always looking for people to volunteer. And if people are interested in helping us protect the St. Clair River, you can contact me at stewardship@scriver.org or 810-294-4965.
Okay.
That's my number.
I think we've got a slide with your name and with your email address on it that they'll put up on the air.
Super.
You brought another, you said a press release was just announced this afternoon.
This afternoon,
you
we
came
just sent out.
about making a difference at Wetlands County Park. What's that all about?
So that's, the Wetlands County Park is another habitat restoration project. It's right attached to the south end of the Blue Water River Walk. So
okay.
It's just a continuation of the Blue Water River Walk, because that's what it looks like anyway.
But it has a designation
It has
as
a
the Wetlands
designation
County
as
Park.
the Wetlands County Park. Yep, that's
So
because
you don't go all the way down to where the bramble is.
just
north
about
of
just north of the Bramble. That's right.
Okay.
So if you'd like to visit the Wetlands County Park, you would park by the Bramble
Okay.
and then walk in. And the the Make a Difference Day event is going to be held Saturday, October 28th, 10 a.m. till noon.
Busy week.
It's a busy week, I know. That's why I didn't think you'd know about that. So that will be where we show the public how to identify native plants in seed.
In seed?
In seed.
Wow.
So there's tricks to identifying species while they're in seed. So no leaves, no flowers, but the seeds are very helpful to identify native plants. And then we'll teach people how to collect them and then how to plant them.
Will you be
right there in the
planting
wetlands.
that day too?
We'll be planting right that day
With
in the wetlands.
this kind of plant, is there a time of year that's better than, it's like grass, that put it in certain times of year?
Yeah, so for most of our native plants, the seeds need to go through a winter dormancy and freeze-thaw cycles in order to germinate. And some of them have to go through 2 winters of freezing and thawing to germinate. So
what kinds of plants will you be working with at the on
So
the 28th?
examples will include a couple of different species of milkweeds, and everybody's into the milkweeds now because of the monarchs. And also a couple different species of asters and some native grasses.
Wow. Are there many of them flowering?
Well, a lot of them are flowering now and going to seed now. So we've been collecting seed for the last few weeks just to make sure that we have enough that's ready to plant.
There is just, I'm shaking my head because there's just so many wonderful little niches in our world that people would be out collecting seeds to replant in order to help the environment is magnificent.
Oh yeah,
It really is.
we think so.
So you need some people. You
We
do
need some
need help
people.
to help you.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 things going. The first one is Wednesday, October 25th, 6 o'clock to 6:45 at the St. Clair County Administration Building on Grand River in Port Huron. A speech by Fred, good old Fred Kemp. How safe is our water? And then the second one is October 28th. Go ahead and tell me about that again.
Make a Difference Day at Wetlands County Park at the south end of Blue Water Riverwalk in Port Huron. And you can park by the Bramble Dock or you can park over by the Gray Fox. It's about the same walking distance to walk into the wetlands.
And it's
from either.
absolutely, both of them are absolutely free.
Both of these are free. Open
One
to
you
the
can
public.
sit and listen, the other one you got to do a little
Yep,
work.
you're going to have to do, you're going to get wet and dirty at Make a Difference.
So dress warm and dry.
Dress warm and dry.
Kristen, always a pleasure to see you.
Thanks.
You do such a great job for all of us.
All right,
And
well,
you and
thank
Sherry Faust and the whole group of the St. Clair, Friends of the St. Clair River, we thank you for all you do. We really, really salute you. It's
Thank you.
very, very important work. Coming up next is a lady who never stops working either. In the summer, she's the head of the aquatics program for the St. Clair Rec Department. And in the winter, she runs the Santa Parade. It's a little early for Santa Parade? No, not really, because you got to plan, you got to get groups to be involved in it, and she's going to tell us all about that and how you can be involved in just a second. We are back with the lady that makes sure Santa Claus comes to St. Clair. Sue Daniels, nice to see you. Welcome back to the Focus Set.
Thank you for
You
having
are
me.
a busy, busy person. You're active still in the aquatic world every day, every week.
That's right.
At St. Clair High School with Swimmer Size.
Swimmer size, yes.
And other programs. And then you wear the red hat of the organizer of the St. Clair Lighted Christmas Parade.
Right. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
When is the parade this year?
All right, it is Friday, November 17th,
Okay. And,
which is the Friday before Thanksgiving.
And it starts probably about
6 p.m. is step off, and we start up here at this building in the surrounding area, and goes down Vine Street to Riverside to Jay, to 3rd Street where they disembark, get the children off the floats and things.
You've had pretty good numbers of units
Yes.
in the last few years.
Yes, we have. It's
How many years, first off, let's go
This
back.
is our 9th annual.
9th annual, okay.
Yes.
And it started and then now it's grown, and how many units?
What, for this year?
Or for last year?
Well, for last year, there's 30, 30 or 31.
Wonderful.
And we just sent out the letters. We've just got all the information out to the people. We waited a little longer this year because last year we thought we put it out too early, and people kind of forgot them or lost them, and then all of a sudden at the last minute, everybody's calling. We want to get in. Now, by doing it later, now people have been thinking ahead of us and calling us and saying,
Good.
where can we find out how to be in it, which is good. And we did send out letters to all last year's participants and to our donors. And the applications are available at City Hall now. Anyone can stop by and pick one up if they didn't get one in the mail. Or they can download them from the City of St. Clair website, cityofstclair.com.
I understand you've been communicating with Santa Claus throughout the spring and the summer, emailing him back and forth, and he's still prepared to come to St. Clair?
He loves to come to St. Clair, yes. And he's excited. He's bringing his reindeer again.
Oh, yeah, the reindeer are coming again?
The reindeer are coming again, and they'll be in the Candy Cane Corral for the children to see. And we also have our refreshments that's sponsored by the St. Clair Chamber of Commerce, and with some help from some of our City of St. Clair workers who have joined our committee. And some of the vendors, stores will be selling other things, but we hope to have a lot of hot cocoa and cookies.
How can people help you? How can people help you?
Oh, if they want to help, they can call me at my home, 329-4498, if they would like to help. And also too, Bob Scharnweber is the organizer at the other end. He lines them up and gets it going. He has a big crew that works with him. And we hadn't had any trouble getting helpers up there.
How about sponsorships?
Sponsorships we need. That is our big thing. If you can't participate in the parade, if you can't put a float in or a group in, if you would like to sponsor financially, we can always use the help that way, and you would get acknowledged, and it is a tax write-off.
Okay. Well, have we missed anything?
Well, there's one new thing.
All right.
We've changed our award system.
Okay.
We were giving out a lot of plaques, and it was becoming very expensive. So what we're going to do is give out an outstanding plaque to a profit organization, an outstanding plaque to a nonprofit, and then the grand sweepstakes winner, there will be a big plaque, and it's going to have the little gold mountings on it, and it'll be engraved every year.
Beautiful, good idea.
And that company or church or
whoever,
Cub Scouts or whoever wins it gets to keep that for a year, and then it's brought back to City Hall and hung up there, and then so that'll be a tradition like the Stanley Cup.
I like it. I like it.
And
or the little brown jug that went back from Ann Arbor to.
Let's not even talk about that.
Okay. We won't talk about that.
We're not talking about that. No.
Well,
And so the mall works with us. They're going to light up at the same time that we light the city tree. Santa gets the key to the city, and everybody sings carols. The
nice family affair.
St. Clair High School Band will be back with us this year.
Good.
They're all excited. And we hope to have a lot of people come and join us.
What's the date again?
Friday, November 17th, 6 p.m.
Downtown.
And any questions, they're free to call me. And again, it is a lighted parade, so the judges will be looking for lots of lights. If you're bringing dogs, we do have the Humane Society come down and Logan's Law, and that they have lights all over their dogs and all over their carriers.
That's great.
Yeah, and so keep that in mind in the judging aspect of it. It's the lights, the lighting and creativity that they're looking for.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Sue Daniels. She
Thank
does
you
a
for
great
helping.
job every year making sure that Santa arrives in St. Clair for all the good little boys and girls, and even for Mr. Fountain over here, who probably won't be on Santa's list this year. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.